You're skeptical. I hear you on that, about how the 49ers have gone about these injuries. How could you not be if you're a 49ers fan? With everything that has taken place the last couple of years, you totally have a right to be skeptical, of CMC coming back, of George Kittle coming back. How are they going to manage these injuries if they reoccur? What's going on with Nick Bosa? I hear you. Dre Greenlaw, obviously, you expect him to be the starting linebacker. He stayed healthy this training camp, but they're clearly being careful with him.
Stribling's got a shoulder injury. Mike Evans has not finished 2 consecutive practices.
That's a problem.
In weeks.
That's a problem. It is.
I mean, look, this sport in general is just a violent one, and it's very difficult to stay healthy. Older teams tend to stay injured. They just do.
Well, especially older teams that are relying on those old players, if you will. Like that, and that's what you mean by that. The 49ers are old in the sense that they expect a lot of the young players to step up this year, but ultimately, if guys like Christian McCaffrey, guys like, Trent Williams, guys like Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, if they don't produce, you're not going to win. You're not. You're still relying heavily on those players.
You know what, though? Like, you say that, but I'm still extremely optimistic about, what I saw. It's a small sample, but, like, Kaylon Black looked really good in the game the other day. And I'm encouraged there. Left guard is a problem for them.
Yes.
I think they're going to play the young guy, Carter Willis. It sounds like.
A rookie.
And I think he's going to have a real tough time, and that's okay. But you know what? At least it's a young lineman. I would rather see a young lineman struggle than some, like, random journeyman struggle. Like, play the young lineman. Maybe he gets better. Like, I'll grant him that. Stribling has been awesome.
He has been
great. How can you not be excited for Stribling? Jake Tonges last year left me wanting way more Jake Tonges.
Yeah.
So I'm really fired up. See, I think one thing in this whole George Kittle equation is that obviously Tonges isn't anywhere near as good as George Kittle. Everyone knows that. I'm not even going to pretend to make that example. I'm just saying, like, Tonges was solid last year. We're acting like it's Luke Farrell-less, tight end 1. It's not. It's going to be Jake Tonges. I think he's going to be good. If you look at all the practice, kind of the numbers and where Purdy throws, he clearly trusts tall, big targets, and Tonges has been one of his main guys. So I'm encouraged.
They always say, the tight end is the safety blanket for the quarterback, and that is definitely the case with the San Francisco 49ers. As it is with a lot of teams, but specifically Tonges, he built a great rapport. Hell, go back to week 1 in Seattle when no one even heard of this guy at the play of his life. It was play of his life, and it was incredible theater. I don't know. I still don't know how he caught that ball. I still think it probably should have been intercepted from Brock, but it didn't matter.
Yeah.
He got it. He got that, and he had his moment. And they desperately needed Tonges last year with the absence of George Kittle. And again, we're talking about Kittle being activated off the pup. And Christian McCaffrey returning to practice yesterday. And, this is what Christian said, that this was the plan all along to ramp up before week 1 against the Rams.
Yeah, obviously when you don't practice, the way the media works now is firestorm. But, this was kind of part of the plan from the jump, was to ramp up pretty big, get 9-10 practices in, kind of come back down and then ramp back up so we're fresh for the duration. So, our staff's done a great job of kind of coming up with specific plans. And, again, I feel great. So, feel fresh, and it's good to be back out there.
He feels that is what I love to hear. I feel fresh. Good. I mean, considering you had 400-plus touches last year, Christian, that is the word I think a lot of Niner fans are happy to hear. You feel fresh. And it's honestly why I'm not as skeptical right now with some of these guys coming back, Christian being one of them. Because the 49ers, for the most part, since, attaining Christian McCaffrey, have kept him healthy. Outside of 1 year, I mean, he's played in 17 games. It was combined that first year, obviously. He made the big trade, and he had played 6 with Carolina. Then he ended up playing 11. And then the year after, 2023, played in 16. We're just going regular season here. Obviously, only played in 4 last year. He had the injury. He had all the wear and tear. And then last season, a season from hell everywhere else when it came to injuries. The one guy we all thought was going to be the most injured. And remember, going back to our Red and Gold Summit last year, we had the notification from Ian Rappaport, Rap Sheet, NFL Network. Oh, he's got a sore calf. He's not practicing. I think it was a Thursday, right? And we're like, oh boy, here we go. Played in 17 games last year. He was incredible.
So you're using CMC?
Not just him. Hold on.
Okay.
Trent Williams has how old?
Yeah, he
started 16 games last year. Started 16.
How many the year before?
Again, I'm going off recent memory.
The year before?
I don't care about the year before. I care what he did last year. I care about what he did last season when everyone else got hurt. As you keep referencing,
never had this kind of injury. This is like, will you at least grant me that? And a torn Achilles.
Are you worried about him right now, though?
Who?
Trent Williams.
He'll miss a couple games. He always does.
No, you referenced a couple of other players that didn't deal. Like Ricky Pearsall didn't have an Achilles. He had a PCL that they had to monitor.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and Christian McCaffrey had tendonitis that they had to monitor.
We could pick any individual random
But that's
players.
what you're doing to pick and choose with your pessimism. Why can't I pick and choose with optimism? You're doing the exact same thing.
No, I'm not.
Purdy's
I'm literally
healthy
picking
right
the
now.
best players on the team. And look, this injury in particular, I've watched Dre Greenlaw, Michael Crabtree. Like, I've watched Kendall Hunter.
I'm not saying to be skeptical about George Kittle, but you keep saying you're skeptical about the 49ers training staff getting these guys healthy.
Yes.
Are we not going to give him credit for McCaffrey last year?
That was unbelievable. Absolutely. He just missed the last 2 weeks.
But they clearly have a plan. The medical staff has a plan for him.
And I told you I don't buy that.
Why not?
Their own players have been skeptical on the training staff that you're citing. That's why they're ranked one of the lowest in terms of approval when it comes to player approval league-wide. Like, I don't buy it. I don't think it holds water at all, at all to me.
So what does hold water with this team then for you? You're saying
the fact that Nick Bosa is still out.
Ricky Pearsall, a guy that you have to protect from yourself because he overtrains too much.
He games in college.
No, but Herm Edwards, who coached him in college, said he works out too much and can get hurt with his soft tissue. He said that to you and Bonte.
So you're banking on Kittle's health because CMC stayed healthy for all 17
games. I didn't say I'm banking on Kittle's health. Joe, I just told you last segment, I want Kittle to be a pass catcher and not block this season.
But that's not who he is. If he's out there, it's the same thing.
Well, then he's going to get hurt. Well, sorry. He's 33 years old, come off an Achilles. You want him to block all the time and catch. He's probably going to get hurt again. So I'm not putting that on George Kittle. You have to protect him if you're Kyle Shanahan. All right? You have to protect these guys from themselves. And we can blame the medicals. We can blame all that all we want. It's a violent sport. People get hurt. Tough potatoes. That's what happens.
I just think that this team has a track record of clearing guys a little prematurely, and then they end up re-aggravating something. And I just don't think that the ends justifies the means. I would have and I understand why they don't want to, you don't want to burn too many return to IR slots. That's number one. And then number two, I just don't get this sense of urgency in the first 5 weeks of the season that you gotta have Kittle. We just have to have him or we're screwed. I actually don't feel that way right now. I actually think they have a lot of young playmakers on offense who we're all kind of sleeping on. I think that this has actually been a blessing in disguise to see some of these young guys. You brought up Sincere McCormick a couple weeks prior from preseason game 1. I legitimately watched him in that game. I'm like, you know what? There's something there.
Yeah.
He has way more juice than Brant Robinson ever did.
He does.
Now, can he hang on to the ball? We'll see. Will he be able to play in a physical game? I don't know. Kaylon Black, we'll see. But I'm definitely more intrigued to see the younger players on offense specifically than I've been in a long time. I actually am very encouraged about how many young playmakers they have. Jordan Watkins, I think he has a tough time catching balls in traffic, but he made a couple of really nice plays.
I like Jordan Watkins.
In game 2, I'd much rather see what he has than Christian Kirk, who hasn't practiced at all.
Oh, I don't think Kirk's making the team, by the way. Why should he at this point? He's played in one practice, and that's it.
I don't
Get him out of here. I don't need him.
I'm looking at all their old guys. Kittle has some health questions. I think Mike Evans, as optimistic as I was the day they signed him, you got to have some red flags here. He can't finish 2 practices. That's a little alarming.
I would put him on ice too and just say, hey, get ready for week 1 in Australia. That's when I need you.
Yeah, and if you feel anything week 1, we might shut you down for a couple weeks, right? There might be a world where, I don't know, maybe Stribling ends up being one of your best pass catchers this year. But I just look at the collection of Kaylon Black. I obviously really like what I have in Deshaun Stribling. I like what I've seen from Jordan Watkins thus far. And Jake Tonges, he's still a young player.
He is.
Jake Tonges, there's a lot of upside there. I actually really like these young players. Juice hurt his finger in training camp and hasn't participated really at all for weeks. These might be blessings in disguise to make them get a little younger and have a little more juice on offense.
And they clearly feel good about their running back room because they traded Zamir White, who was a part of that running back room, for a veteran linebacker in Deion Jones. That happened overnight. It's kind of random, just a random trade out of nowhere, but not random for the Saints because Alvin Kamara has, I guess, an MCL injury he suffered last week, so he's going to be out for the foreseeable future. Obviously, that can impact some fantasy footballers out there. Obviously, another big injury for running backs yesterday was Ashton Genty, the Raiders starting running back, who the 49ers obviously will not be seeing this week. He has an ankle sprain, which I guess is good news considering people thought it might have been an ACL. So Deion Jones, who has some familiarity way back when with Kyle Shanahan back in 2016 when Kyle was the offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. Look at that. His rookie season.
Played in forever. I mean, I don't know. This is not very good. I don't know.
Well, I think, and obviously there's familiarity with the defensive coordinator. Raheem Morris has coached him once upon a time as well.
How bad are your linebackers if this is what you're doing? No, like legitimately.
But I don't feel that way about the linebacking core. Do you? I feel actually good about it.
Nick Martin, I'm kind of out on Nick Martin. There's a few young defensive players that I'm really out on right now.
Duggar. He's flashing occasionally.
He's a rookie. And he's making a positional change. You go from safety to linebacker. That's you're going to take some time.
Well, and also they're going to be using him in different spots throughout this season too, because Raheem Morris said as much over the weekend, defensive coordinator for San Francisco, that they drafted him with the intention of moving him around in different places.
Yeah, that might be the case.
So because he's so big, right? 6'4", 240. They might put him on the line, try to be a pass rusher at times. They might drop him into coverage. So he might be a jack of all trades kind of a situation there.
The young, I feel so optimistic about our young offensive players, and there's a few on defense that I'm definitely optimistic about. Prysock obviously has shown flashes.
Ephesians
at cornerback, and Duggar is a guy that's absolutely flashed a little here and there. Haven't seen a lot from Melo Height. I've seen nothing from Alfred Collins.
No.
I'm so out on him as a player right now.
I guess he came back from a back injury though, so they're again
been hurt. That's another player who's basically been hurt for 2 years. He missed all the training camp last year with a lot of injuries.
Sam and I talked about it after the Chargers game last week, preseason game number 2 down at SoFi. And I think you were on it early, even after one game, but I think most people started jumping onto your bandwagon.
Which one?
You feel infinitely better about this draft class than last year's already.
It's way better.
After 2 preseason games.
Way better. Well, this is why you shouldn't let Robert Saleh make the decisions. I mean, you got to draft your players and stick with them.
I hope they didn't let him make the decisions. I mean, it should be John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan.
I mean,
I hope you don't let the defensive coordinator that's looking to get a head coaching job elsewhere make the decisions.
I mean, Jed was tweeting out, that's a Saleh pick, hashtag Saleh, hashtag this. Like, oh, God. I mean, think about the Saleh guys, right? Nick Martin didn't play at all for Saleh last year. Probably not a fit in this system. Yeah. Alfred Collins, clearly not a fit in this system. I mean, they've tried, and I don't think he even has a spot. Like, they wouldn't have traded for Osa Odigizua had they thought that Collins was going to be a factor.
And we don't even know about Michael Williams coming back from an ACL.
I don't know. I like Halton, the kid that they drafted this year.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, when you're taking that many defensive line guys in one offseason, that tells me the guys that you had last year were either not good or for a different scheme fit. And so then I look at their safeties right now. I like Marquise Siegel. I'm like the only one who likes Marquise Siegel. I do not like Jair Brown as a safety.
No.
You're talking about bringing in
Deion Jones.
Get me Jimmy Ward.
Jimmy Ward?
Yes.
Where's he at?
On the couch somewhere.
Well,
if I told you right now Jimmy Ward was your starting safety over Jair Brown, would you not feel better? I'm dead serious on this. I would rather him come off the couch. I don't even know if he's in the NFL right now. Is he? Is he in the NFL?
No, he was released by the Texans on March 3rd, 2026.
Pick him up. I'd take him in a heartbeat.
Had some legal issues over in Texas. Great. He had in September 2025.
Am I going to regret this?
A Montgomery County court in Texas didn't find probable cause. Ward had committed alleged domestic violence crimes. It was alleged. They didn't
find they're all in the clear then.
Well, I mean,
there's definitely no smoke there.
Yeah. So maybe you don't want to touch that.
The Niners are they're in a very interesting spot right now because there's a lot of areas on the team I'm very optimistic. I really am. Like their punter, I love this new punter.
Corliss Waitman.
Bro, that left-footed kick, like the guy actually is a good punter. I know it's not going to, drum up a ton of calls.
No, they're calling him Corliss Valerian of House Valerian, right? From
Call him Lord Corliss.
Yeah, Lord Corliss.
I like the lefty
You like
punter.
Lord Corliss?
I told you guys I would be trying out
punter.
different punters every year because they're dirt cheap. I would never pay any one of them a lot of money. Obviously, you feel good about Eddie Pinheiro. I'm listening to Steiny last week. Is he going to go 28 or 29 this year? I don't know. Go 25 or 30. We'll call it a good year. Punt returner Jacob Cowing. That's the best play Jacob Cowing's ever made in the NFL.
Some of the worst angles I've ever seen in my life trying to tackle him on that play. But you give him the credit for sure.
I like him as a punt returner.
Yeah.
Infinitely more than Debo. Debo looks sketchy at best.
Well, I don't want Debo to be there. I didn't bring in Debo to be a kick returner or a punt returner.
What did you bring in Debo then for?
To be a depth piece.
I think he is your kick returner. He is good at kick returning.
Sure.
But punt returning is a completely different. They're two. Some guys are good at both. They are two separate skill sets to me. And I think that Jacob Cowing is a much smoother catcher of punts. And Debo I like on kick returns.
By the way, you're listening to 95.7 The Game. KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco and Odyssey Sports Station in the home of the Golden State Warriors and Valkyries. Always live in the free Odyssey app. Coming to you live from the Laughing Monk Studios. 1 hour down. 3 to go here at Spadoni at Shasky. It is the Morning Roast. Talking 49ers heading into their final preseason game of this preseason slate. It'll be down in Las Vegas Thursday. And I wonder if we're going to see any of the starters. Real quick, do you want to see anyone play? Do you still need to see any of the starters play preseason game 3 or put everyone on ice?
I mean, I guess what I always laugh is like you brought up Justin Herbert playing 3 snaps. What does that do for anyone?
That's what I said last week.
I don't even know.
For who, for what?
I don't even know.
That was stupid.
I don't know. I mean, at this point, just sure. Here's what I would say.
Sure, whatever. Okay.
That's exactly how I feel.
Thank you, Brian.
First off, it's not going to happen.
Can I ask a question?
Second off, it's not going to happen. So.
That was about John Morant.
Can we
to the
laugh for a
Warriors.
minute? What are we doing with Adrian Martinez? How's he still in the league? He sucks.
Practice squad guy?
No, he's not. He's not even that.
He's good for the camaraderie.
Not even that. Nope. No, Adrian Martinez.
Might be a good camaraderie guy.
I've watched some
I have no
bad
idea.
quarterback
He's the Mark
play.
Hanna of the 49ers.
Yeah,
I've watched
vibes.
some really bad 49er quarterbacks in training camp and in preseason. Nate Ball takes the cake. Adrian Martinez, hands down the worst.
Yeah.
He's the worst.
Mac Jones.
I think he stinks.
Mac Jones looks pretty good.
That was encouraging.
Okay. Were you worried? Honestly, were you worried about the training camp stuff?
A little. I just wanted to
wasn't.
see him play well.
That's fine, yeah.
I just want to see him play well. He does this thing where when he jumps forward, it reminds me of the old quarterbacks like Peyton. I'm not saying he's Peyton, but Tom and Peyton.
Or they're stiffs kind of
When
back
they
there.
hitch forward and then they're going to throw the ball deep, he does throw a beautiful ball.
He does.
You got to give Matt credit. And look, Jordan Watkins catch that other one. My God.
I know. Well,